Secrets hidden in plain sight. Today, we uncover 100 facts about secret organizations that shaped the world. From mysterious societies to covert networks, history is full of hidden influence waiting to be revealed. Stay tuned as every chapter exposes a new secret that changed the course of politics, culture, and science. Chapter 1. Most people have heard whispers about the Illuminati, but few know it traces back to 1776 in Bavaria. Originally, Chapter 2. The Freemasons, a centuries-old organization, began as stonemason guilds in Europe. Their rituals, symbols, and secret lodges fascinated outsiders, while members built networks of influence. Architects, Chapter 4. The Rosicrucians claim mystical knowledge and philosophical teachings dating back to the 17th century. Their symbols, blending science, alchemy, and spirituality, attracted scholars and inventors. While some dismiss them as myth, historical texts suggest they influenced early modern science and the spread of secret knowledge, merging spiritual enlightenment with intellectual curiosity. Chapter 5, Opus Dei, founded in 1928, is often misunderstood as a shadowy organization. In reality, it emphasizes discipline, education, and religious devotion. However, its members' positions in finance and politics sparked speculation about hidden agendas. Their influence is subtle, combining ethical work with networked power, quietly shaping decisions in both spiritual and worldly realms. Chapter 6. The Bilderberg Group gathers global leaders each year behind closed doors. Formed in 1954, its purpose is informal discussion on economics and politics. No official decisions are made, yet attendees include top politicians, CEOs, and royalty. Conspiracy theories suggest hidden world agendas, while analysts note its real influence lies in networking and sharing information across borders. Chapter 7. Bohemian Grove, a retreat in California. Chapter 8. The Order of the Golden Dawn influenced Western occultism and modern magic. Founded in the late 19th century, it attracted poets, writers, and scholars interested in mysticism. Scientific curiosity merged with esoteric teachings, creating a unique blend of art, ritual, and psychology. Its hidden knowledge inspired literary works and early studies in symbolic thinking and human consciousness. Chapter 9. The Thule Society, active in early 20th century Germany, blended nationalism with occultism. They funded and influenced political movements, believing in mystical and racial ideologies. Though controversial and dark, their role demonstrates how secretive networks can merge ideology, symbolism, and strategic power, shaping major historical events in ways that textbooks sometimes overlook. Chapter 10. The Priory of Sion is famous in popular culture, but remains elusive historically. Alleged to protect secret bloodlines and ancient knowledge, their story mixes legend with documented facts. Archaeologists and historians debate its existence, yet the fascination continues. This blend of myth, potential historical influence, and mystery keeps secret organizations relevant in modern curiosity and scholarship. Chapter 11. The Knights Templar, formed in 1119, were initially a military order protecting pilgrims. Beyond battle, they accumulated wealth, land, and banking influence across Europe. Their sudden suppression in 1307 fueled legends of hidden treasures and secret knowledge. Historians suggest their financial innovations shaped medieval economies, while myths about their survival and influence persist in modern culture. Chapter 12. The Carbonari, a 19th century Italian secret society, fought for constitutional reform and national unity. Their networks spread across Europe, inspiring revolutions and clandestine political planning. Though small, their methods combined secrecy, loyalty, and symbolic rituals. Political scientists note their organizational structure influenced later nationalist movements, blending social engineering with discreet activism. Chapter 13. The Hermetic Order of the Silver Dawn focused on metaphysics, alchemy, and ritual magic. Members explored human consciousness and symbolic systems, sometimes pioneering psychological approaches centuries ahead of formal science. Though obscure, their writings influenced thinkers in literature, philosophy, and early psychology, demonstrating how secretive intellectual societies can advance knowledge quietly. Chapter 14. The Order of Assassins. Active in 11th century Persia, used strategic secrecy and political influence rather than sheer force. Their reputation for targeted action created fear and myth, blending tactical intelligence with ideological devotion. Modern analysts study them as early examples of covert operations, highlighting how small, disciplined groups can impact larger geopolitical outcomes. Chapter 15. The Bilderberg Group, often discussed in conspiracy circles, emphasizes private dialogue over public statements. Founded in 1954, it hosts world leaders to share perspectives on global challenges. Economists and scientists attend alongside politicians, fostering cross-border knowledge. Its real impact may lie in informal coordination and understanding rather than secret control, though speculation fuels intrigue. Chapter 16. The Ordo Templi Orientis, founded in early 20th century Europe, combined ceremonial magic with philosophical exploration. Famous members like Aleister Crowley brought attention to personal empowerment and esoteric practice. While some dismiss it as ritualistic hobbyism, historians highlight its influence on modern spiritual movements and occult culture, blending science, psychology, and symbolism. Chapter 17. The Illuminati-inspired Bavarian Illuminati sought rationalism and secular governance in 1776. Though suppressed, their ideals spread through intellectual circles, influencing revolutionary thought. Members debated science, philosophy, and law, envisioning Chapter 19. The Priory of Sion, shrouded in legend, claimed to protect sacred lineages. While historical evidence is limited, the stories influenced art, literature, and popular culture. Conspiracy enthusiasts link them to hidden influence over European history, showing the enduring fascination with organizations that claim to guard secret knowledge while remaining elusive to the public. Chapter 20. The Order of the Eastern Star, a Masonic-affiliated society, promotes charity, education, and moral teachings. Though open to select women and men, its ceremonies maintain secrecy. Their social network encourages community service while fostering leadership skills. Researchers note how such semi-secret organizations combine ritual, ethics, and practical influence, quietly shaping societal contributions. Chapter 21. The Hellfire Club, active in 18th century Britain, combined social gatherings with provocative rituals. Members included politicians and writers who challenged moral norms of their time. Though rumors exaggerate their influence, historians note they fostered bold thinking and networking, blending satire, secrecy, and elite camaraderie in ways that subtly shaped cultural and political conversations. Chapter 22, The Order of the Knights of Malta. Dating back to the 11th century, combined military, religious, and medical missions. Beyond defending territories, they developed hospitals and humanitarian strategies, influencing European health systems. Their secretive councils managed wealth and strategy, demonstrating how covert structures can coordinate complex operations while maintaining global influence over centuries. Chapter 23, The Hermetic Brotherhood of Luxor, active in the late 19th century, focused on esoteric knowledge and spiritual evolution. Members explored natural sciences alongside mystical teachings, bridging philosophy and empirical study. Though small, their writings inspired occultists and early psychologists, highlighting how clandestine societies can nurture intellectual curiosity across disciplines. Chapter 24, The Green Dragon Society, a Japanese secret organization, promoted nationalist and militaristic agendas in the early 20th century. Operating quietly, they influenced political decisions and espionage. Historians highlight their methods of communication, loyalty, and ideological training as early examples of how covert networks manipulate national policy while remaining largely invisible to outsiders. Chapter 25, The Black Hand, a Serbian secret society, orchestrated clandestine political acts, most famously the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in 1914. Their actions triggered global conflict, showing how a small, disciplined group can alter the course of history. Scholars analyze them as a mix of ideology, strategy, and secrecy, with tangible geopolitical consequences. Chapter 26, The Bohemian Club, founded in 1872, hosts influential figures in art, business, and politics. Its retreats include ritualistic gatherings and informal discussions that foster collaboration. Some suggest decisions made here affect global strategies, while insiders emphasize cultural exchange. The blend of tradition, secrecy, and networking demonstrates how exclusive societies shape thought leadership. Chapter 27, The Sufi orders in the Middle East and South Asia blend mysticism with spiritual discipline. Though not political, they operated secretive study circles that preserved scientific knowledge, poetry, and philosophy. Their teachings spread slowly through generations, showing how semi-secret networks can protect and transmit culture, science, and philosophy across centuries. Chapter 28, The Illuminati's alleged influence extended beyond Bavaria, inspiring thinkers across Europe. Their members debated rationalism, ethics, and law in private circles. Historians argue the real power lay in spreading ideas rather than controlling events directly. This subtle intellectual network demonstrates how secrecy can amplify cultural and scientific influence quietly. Chapter 29, The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn inspired modern ritual magic and psychological exploration. Members studied symbolism, astronomy, and early forms of psychology, merging esoteric practice with intellectual curiosity. Their influence reached literature and art, showing how hidden societies can guide creative and scientific thought simultaneously. Chapter 30, The Thule Society's esoteric and political activities in early 20th century Germany influenced radical movements. Though shrouded in mysticism, their networks demonstrated strategic planning, propaganda, and ideological shaping. Scholars study them as examples of how secret societies merge belief, symbolism, and operational tactics to influence history and culture in subtle yet lasting ways. Chapter 31, The Rosicrucians influenced European science and philosophy in the 17th century. Their secret texts blended alchemy, mathematics, and spiritual thought, inspiring scientists like Isaac Newton. By promoting hidden knowledge and experimental thinking, they bridged mysticism and empirical study, showing how clandestine societies can advance understanding while remaining largely invisible to the public eye. Chapter 33. The Bilderberg Group's private conferences bring together world leaders for open dialogue on global issues. While not decision-making bodies, their influence lies in shaping perspectives and fostering cooperation. Economists, politicians, and scientists exchange ideas, highlighting how secrecy and exclusivity can create effective informal networks that impact international understanding and policy indirectly. Chapter 34. The Order of the Eastern Star blends charitable work with ritual tradition. Members use secret ceremonies to foster loyalty, education, and leadership skills. Their networks often influence local communities positively, showing how semi-secret organizations combine structure, ethics, and practical impact while maintaining exclusivity and subtle influence across generations. Chapter 35. The Knights Templar developed advanced banking methods in medieval Europe. Beyond military service, they managed property, loans, and financial networks. Their secrecy protected operations and assets, creating myths of hidden treasures. Historians note their practices influenced modern banking, demonstrating how secretive organizations can innovate systems that survive long after their dissolution. Chapter 36. The Hellfire Club's provocative gatherings encouraged free thought and satire in 18th century Britain. Members, often elite politicians and writers, used secrecy to bypass societal restrictions, experimenting with ideas and influence. While rumors exaggerate their power, their impact on culture and networking shows how clandestine groups can subtly shape elite discourse and decision-making. Chapter 37. The Hermetic Brotherhood of Luxor combined spiritual practice with scientific exploration. Active in the 19th century, they emphasized practical knowledge, philosophy, and personal development. Their teachings inspired members to pursue innovative research and intellectual growth, illustrating how secret societies can nurture scientific curiosity while maintaining esoteric traditions. Chapter 38. The Priory of Sion remains one of the most enigmatic secret organizations. Alleged to protect sacred lineages and ancient wisdom, it blends legend with limited historical evidence. Its story inspired myths, novels, and documentaries, showing how secret societies capture imagination, influence culture, and shape curiosity about hidden knowledge over centuries. Chapter 39. The Ordo Templi Orientis combined ceremonial magic with philosophical inquiry in early 20th century Europe. Famous members like Aleister Crowley promoted personal empowerment and exploration of consciousness. Their rituals and teachings influenced spiritual movements and cultural trends, showing how secretive organizations can bridge mysticism and psychology for intellectual and creative growth. Chapter 40. The Carbonari fought for political reform and Italian unity in the 19th century. Chapter 41. The Green Dragon Society in Japan promoted nationalist agendas in the early 20th century. Their members influenced politics, business, and military planning through secret meetings. Using coded messages and loyalty oaths, they coordinated actions without public scrutiny. Historians consider them an example of how covert networks can shape national policy quietly while remaining largely invisible to outsiders. Chapter 42. The Black Hand orchestrated political assassinations in early 20th century Serbia, most famously the death of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Their secretive methods relied on trust, discipline, and careful planning. This small organization demonstrated how covert groups can alter the course of history dramatically, turning hidden actions into world-altering consequences within weeks. Chapter 43. Bohemian Grove hosts elite figures from business, politics, and arts. Its retreats combine ritual performances with informal discussion, fostering collaboration. While outsiders speculate on secret world decisions, insiders emphasize idea exchange and cultural bonding. The club's blend of ritual, privacy, and networking shows how semi-secret societies influence thought leadership across generations. Chapter 44. Sufi orders maintained secretive study circles, preserving poetry, philosophy, and scientific knowledge across centuries. Through mentorship and clandestine teachings, they transmitted culture and learning discreetly. Scholars note their methods as effective knowledge preservation, illustrating how semi-secret spiritual societies can impact intellectual and scientific traditions while avoiding public scrutiny. Chapter 45. The Illuminati, though short-lived, spread Enlightenment ideals across Europe. Members debated rationalism, ethics, and science in private, fostering intellectual growth. Historians argue their true influence was ideological rather than political. Their story shows how secrecy can protect ideas, allowing networks to propagate knowledge and cultural change without drawing direct attention. Chapter 46. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn merged ritual magic with early psychological studies. Members explored symbolism, human consciousness, and natural philosophy. Their teachings inspired writers, artists, and thinkers, showing how secret organizations can advance creative and scientific thought while maintaining mystique and exclusivity. Chapter 47. The Thule Society combined mysticism and political ideology in early 20th century Germany. Their esoteric practices and secret meetings influenced radical movements. Scholars study them to understand how symbolism, belief, and clandestine organization can intersect to shape historical events, blending culture, ideology, and strategy in ways not immediately visible to outsiders. Chapter 48. The Rosicrucians encouraged intellectual exploration through hidden texts, blending science and mysticism. Their influence reached scientists and philosophers across Europe, inspiring early modern thought. By promoting knowledge in secretive circles, they demonstrated how clandestine networks can foster discovery while remaining discreet, blending rationality and spirituality in one influential system. Chapter 49. The Freemasons' lodges facilitated dialogue on liberty, science, and philosophy. Their secrecy allowed radical ideas to flourish, influencing revolutions and social reforms. Historians credit them with creating safe intellectual spaces where thinkers could exchange ideas freely. This demonstrates how structured secrecy can empower cultural and scientific progress without public scrutiny. Chapter 50. The Knights Templar developed innovative financial practices alongside their military role. They created safe banking systems, managed estates, and transferred funds across regions. Their secrecy protected these operations, fostering myths of hidden treasure. Historians highlight their contributions to modern finance, showing how secret organizations can leave lasting systemic impacts beyond mere legend. Chapter 51. The Hellfire Club used secrecy to push boundaries of 18th century social norms. Members engaged in satire, intellectual debates, and provocative gatherings. Though exaggerated in legend, the club encouraged free thinking among elite circles. Historians note its role in shaping cultural discourse, blending secrecy, networking, and influence without overt political power. Chapter 52. The Hermetic Brotherhood of Luxor emphasized spiritual growth and scientific exploration. Active in the 19th century, members studied natural philosophy alongside esoteric rituals. Their teachings inspired creativity and critical thinking, showing how secret societies can advance knowledge by combining disciplined study with hidden mentorship and structured intellectual exchange. Chapter 53. The Priory of Sion, while largely legendary, captivated historians and writers alike. Its alleged mission to protect sacred bloodlines inspired myths about hidden power. Even without concrete evidence, the fascination demonstrates how stories of secret societies influence culture, literature, and curiosity about clandestine influence throughout history. Chapter 54, Ordo Templi Orientis, blended ritual, philosophy, and early psychology. Influential figures like Aleister Crowley explored personal empowerment, consciousness, and symbolic systems. Their secretive teachings shaped modern occult practices and inspired creative thought, showing how clandestine organizations can leave intellectual and cultural legacies beyond mainstream knowledge. Chapter 55. The Carbonari's covert networks in 19th century Italy advanced revolutionary goals. They organized uprisings and spread nationalist ideas discreetly. Secrecy ensured loyalty and operational efficiency. Historians view them as prototypes for structured clandestine activism, demonstrating how small, disciplined groups can drive political and societal change with significant impact. Chapter 56. The Green Dragon Society's influence in early 20th century Japan combined espionage, political strategy, and nationalism. Members communicated through coded messages and secret meetings. Though largely unknown to the public, historians consider their methods a blueprint for covert operations, showing how clandestine networks manipulate influence without open visibility. Chapter 57. The Black Hand's covert operations in Serbia exemplify how small organizations can trigger global events. Their careful planning and execution of political assassinations changed the course of history, igniting World War I. Scholars study them as a case of clandestine strategy intersecting with ideology, demonstrating the outsized impact of hidden societies. Chapter 58. Bohemian Grove retreats mix ritual, art, and informal dialogue. Elite members from business, politics, and the arts network privately, exchanging ideas. While myths exaggerate their influence, the Grove shows how secretive gatherings foster collaboration and creative problem-solving among influential figures, blending tradition, exclusivity, and networking. Chapter 59. Sufi orders preserved knowledge through semi-secret mentorship. Spiritual and scientific teachings were passed orally or in private circles, shielding knowledge from political or religious suppression. Their methods ensured continuity of culture, science, and philosophy across generations, demonstrating the subtle power of hidden networks in shaping intellectual history. Chapter 60. The Illuminati's short existence belied its ideological impact. Members promoted rational thought, science, and ethics in private circles. While suppressed, their ideas influenced revolutionary thinking in Europe. Historians argue their secrecy amplified intellectual dissemination, showing how clandestine networks can propagate transformative ideas without overt authority. Chapter 61. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn merged ritual magic with early scientific inquiry. Members explored astronomy, symbolism, and psychology, blending intellectual curiosity with esoteric practice. Their secret teachings influenced literature, art, and philosophy, demonstrating how clandestine societies can inspire creative and scientific thought while maintaining mystique and exclusivity. Chapter 62. The Thule Society combined mysticism with political strategy in early 20th century Germany. Their secret meetings shaped radical movements, influencing propaganda and ideology. Historians analyze them to understand how symbolism, belief, and clandestine organization intersect, demonstrating the powerful, if subtle, effects secret societies can have on culture and politics. Chapter 63. Rosicrucians spread scientific and mystical knowledge through hidden texts and secret societies. Their influence touched mathematicians, philosophers, and alchemists across Europe. By fostering intellectual exploration in private circles, they demonstrated how secrecy can protect innovation and encourage experimentation, bridging rationality and spirituality in a single network of influence. Chapter 64. Freemasons used secret lodges to cultivate discussion on liberty, ethics, and science. These private spaces allowed radical ideas to flourish safely, influencing revolutions and reforms. Historians highlight their role in nurturing intellectual communities where thinkers could collaborate discreetly, proving how secrecy empowers cultural and scientific progress. Chapter 65. The Bilderberg Group's confidential meetings bring global leaders together to discuss complex issues. Economists, politicians, and scientists exchange ideas privately, fostering informal networks. While not a decision-making body, their influence lies in shaping perspectives and promoting collaboration, demonstrating how exclusivity and privacy can indirectly guide international strategy. Chapter 66. The Order of the Eastern Star combines charitable missions with secret rituals. Members gain leadership and organizational skills while fostering loyalty and ethical behavior. This semi-secret structure enables subtle societal influence, showing how discrete networks balance ritual, education, and community impact across generations. Chapter 67. Knights Templars' banking innovations protected funds, managed estates, and transferred wealth safely across medieval Europe. Their secrecy ensured operational security and inspired myths of hidden treasures. Historians credit them with laying foundations for modern banking, illustrating how clandestine organizations can leave lasting practical and financial legacies. Chapter 68. The Hellfire Club fostered unconventional thinking in elite 18th century circles. Members challenged societal norms through satire, gatherings, and intellectual discourse. While exaggerated in legend, the club influenced cultural conversation and networking, blending secrecy with influence without direct political power. Chapter 69. The Hermetic Brotherhood of Luxor emphasized spiritual and intellectual growth. Members studied natural philosophy, mysticism, and personal development in secret circles. Their teachings inspired early scientific inquiry and creative thinking, showing how clandestine societies nurture knowledge and innovation while remaining largely invisible to the wider world. Chapter 70, The Priory of Sion, Shrouded in Legend, captivated historians and writers alike. Allegedly protecting sacred bloodlines and ancient knowledge, it inspired myths, books, and popular curiosity. Even without strong historical evidence, its narrative demonstrates the lasting cultural fascination with secret organizations and their perceived influence on world events. Wow. Chapter 71, Ordo Templi Orientis, combined ritual, philosophy, and early psychology. Figures like Aleister Crowley explored consciousness, personal empowerment, and symbolic systems. Their secretive teachings shaped modern occultism and inspired creative thought, demonstrating how clandestine organizations can leave intellectual and cultural legacies beyond mainstream awareness. Chapter 72, The Carbonari's Secret Networks Advanced Italian Nationalist and Revolutionary Goals. Loyalty, discipline, and rituals ensured operational success. Their coordinated uprisings influenced political change, showing how small, disciplined clandestine societies can drive significant societal transformations without overt public authority. Chapter 73, The Green Dragon Society influenced early 20th century Japanese politics, military, and espionage. Using coded communication and secret meetings, members subtly shaped national policy. Historians view them as an example of covert organizational strategy, demonstrating how clandestine networks manipulate power while remaining largely invisible. Chapter 74, The Black Hand executed covert operations in Serbia, most notably the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Their secretive planning and execution triggered global conflict. Scholars examine them as a case study in how small, disciplined societies can produce massive historical consequences through stealth and strategy. Chapter 75, Bohemian Grove Retreats blend ritual, art, and informal discussion for elite networking. Members exchange ideas privately, fostering collaboration and strategic thinking. While myths exaggerate their power, the Grove demonstrates how secrecy and exclusivity can cultivate influence among decision-makers in culture, politics, and business. Chapter 76, Sufi orders preserved knowledge through semi-secret mentorship circles. Spiritual and scientific teachings were transmitted discreetly, shielding intellectual heritage from suppression. Their methods ensured cultural continuity, illustrating the subtle impact secret societies can have on philosophy, science, and education across generations. Chapter 77, The Illuminati, though short-lived, spread Enlightenment ideals across Europe. Members promoted rationalism, ethics, and science in private discussions. Suppressed politically, their ideas endured, showing how secretive networks can propagate transformative knowledge without overt authority. Chapter 78, The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn combined ritual magic with early scientific thought. Members explored symbolism, astronomy, and psychology, influencing literature, philosophy, and art. Their secret practices highlight how clandestine organizations can inspire intellectual, creative, and scientific development simultaneously. Chapter 79, The Thule Society merged esotericism and political strategy in early 20th century Germany. Secret meetings fostered ideological planning and propaganda, influencing radical movements. Scholars study them to understand the intersection of belief, symbolism, and clandestine organizational power in shaping historical events. Chapter 80, Rosicrucians spread hidden knowledge, blending science and mysticism. Their influence touched philosophers, mathematicians, and alchemists across Europe. By nurturing intellectual curiosity in private circles, they demonstrated how secrecy can protect innovation and foster cultural and scientific advancement simultaneously. Chapter 81. Freemasons use. Chapter 83. The Order of the Eastern Star combines ritual, leadership training, and charity. Members gain skills while promoting ethical behavior and loyalty. Their semi-secret structure allows them to impact communities subtly, illustrating how discrete networks can balance tradition, service, and influence over time. Chapter 84. Knights Templar developed secure banking systems, managing estates and transferring funds across medieval Europe. Their secrecy ensured operational safety, creating myths of hidden treasures. Historians credit them with innovations that influenced modern finance, showing how secret organizations can leave enduring practical and systemic legacies. Chapter 85. The Hellfire Club encouraged unconventional thought among 18th century elites. Members challenged social norms through satire, gatherings, and intellectual discourse. Though exaggerated in legend, the club influenced cultural conversations and networking, blending secrecy with subtle societal impact without direct political power. Chapter 86. The Hermetic Brotherhood of Luxor focused on spiritual and intellectual growth. Members studied natural philosophy and mysticism in secret circles. Their teachings inspired scientific inquiry and creative thinking, showing how clandestine societies can nurture innovation while remaining largely invisible to the broader public. Chapter 87. The Priory of Sion captivated historians and writers, allegedly protecting sacred bloodlines and ancient knowledge. Even with limited historical evidence, its narrative inspired myths, books, and curiosity, demonstrating how secret societies influence culture and maintain enduring fascination over centuries. Chapter 88. Ordo Templi Orientis explored ritual, philosophy, and early psychology. Figures like Aleister Crowley promoted personal empowerment and symbolic thinking. Their secret teachings influenced modern occultism and creative thought, showing how clandestine societies leave intellectual and cultural legacies beyond mainstream awareness. Chapter 89. The Carbonari's covert networks advanced Italian nationalism. Rituals, loyalty, and careful planning enabled uprisings that reshaped society. Historians study them as examples of structured clandestine activism, proving that small, disciplined groups can drive major political and social transformations discreetly. Chapter 90. The Green Dragon Society subtly shaped early 20th century Japanese politics, military strategy, and espionage. Using secret meetings and coded messages, members influenced national decisions. Historians view them as a model of covert organizational strategy, showing how clandestine networks can manipulate power while remaining largely invisible. Chapter 91. The Black Hand executed covert operations in Serbia, most notably assassinating Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Their secretive planning triggered World War I, showing how small, disciplined groups can drastically alter history. Scholars study them as a case of strategy, loyalty, and secrecy intersecting with ideology for maximum historical impact. Chapter 92. Bohemian Grove hosts elite figures in art, politics, and business for private retreats. Rituals and informal discussions foster collaboration and networking. While myths exaggerate influence, The Grove demonstrates how secrecy and exclusivity cultivate idea exchange and strategic connections among decision-makers. Chapter 93. Sufi orders preserved knowledge through semi-secret mentorship circles. Spiritual, philosophical, and scientific teachings passed discreetly ensured continuity across generations. Their methods highlight how secretive spiritual networks can impact education, science, and culture over centuries without public recognition. Chapter 94. The Illuminati's ideological influence outlived their short existence. Promoting rationalism, ethics, and science, they nurtured revolutionary thought in private circles. Historians argue secrecy amplified idea dissemination, demonstrating how clandestine networks propagate transformative knowledge without overt authority. Chapter 95. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn combined ritual magic with intellectual exploration. Members studied symbolism, astronomy, and psychology, influencing literature, art, and philosophy. Their secret teachings exemplify how clandestine societies inspire both creative and scientific thought simultaneously. Chapter 96. The Thule Society merged esotericism with political strategy in early 20th century Germany. Secret greetings shaped ideology and propaganda for radical movements. Scholars examine them to understand the intersection of belief, symbolism, and clandestine power in shaping historical events. Chapter 97. Rosicrucians spread knowledge blending science and mysticism. Their hidden texts reached mathematicians, philosophers, and alchemists across Europe. By fostering intellectual curiosity in secretive circles, they demonstrated how secrecy can protect innovation and promote cultural and scientific advancement simultaneously. Chapter 98. Freemasons' lodges served as safe spaces to discuss liberty, ethics, and science. These private circles allowed radical ideas to flourish, influencing revolutions and social reforms. Historians credit them with creating intellectual communities where collaboration could occur discreetly, showing secrecy empowers cultural and scientific progress. Chapter 99. The Bilderberg Group hosts private meetings for global leaders to discuss complex issues. Economists, politicians, and scientists exchange perspectives, creating informal networks. While not a decision-making body, their influence lies in shaping understanding and collaboration, demonstrating subtle power through exclusivity and confidentiality. Chapter 100. Knights Templar combined military, religious, and financial operations. Their secretive banking systems, estates, and networks inspired myths of hidden treasures. Historians recognize their contributions to modern finance and strategic operations, showing how clandestine organizations can leave lasting influence long after their dissolution. And that's a wrap on 100 secrets of the world's most influential organizations. History is full of mysteries, and the story doesn't end here. Keep exploring, questioning, and uncovering the hidden forces that shape our world every day. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.